Well, folks, the pep band says it's time for another Tiger Sports Show as we take a look around Hastings High School activities and sports. I'm your host, Greg Mays. There's my little brother and co-host, Tren Mays. What's the big story in Tiger Sports this week, Trenner?
So the fun part is when I got back into the building today, I didn't know they rehearsed at 3 o'clock. So I heard the fight song echoing through the hallways. And I had to clap. It was a walking clap. And then they paused before the drum off at the end, and then they played the drum off again. So it was fun. They played a little Eye of the Tiger on my way out the building, and it just echoed through the building. So,
well, you're ready for the show then. You're ready. You're fired up.
Oh yeah, I'm tired for one, but yeah, we're good to go. I feel better than I did last week. I didn't pop on the injury list this week, so rehab's going pretty good. So,
well, that's good. The way everything's going, we're going to need all hands on deck. Let's talk about the football game last week, Trent. I feel like the Tigers let one get away there.
Yeah, so do I. They started out. I blinked and I missed most of the first when they tried to run zone read, and Big Chance Burton was there to meet both guys and basically made them into a sandwich and knocked the ball out. And Cooper Cole, as he's known to other people, scooped it in from, I think the Tribune had it for 12 yards. So it was a great start. And then they hit, the receiver. Krings. They hit Krings. They went for money. After York kicks the field goal, he was about a half a step from going to town. That would have been 6 on the first play. So, but then they just couldn't get anything going together. So Cynic was dealing in the first half, but they just sputtered a little bit in the second half, and then big drive at the end of the game for York put the game away. And I was a little busy Friday, so if you want to know how my night went, I got yelled at by second graders, so that was the first.
Well, I think you saw two pretty good teams. I think it showed in the ratings that they, some people moved York in, but most people kept Hastings in. I think they thought those teams, those were two pretty good teams. The Cooper Cole touchdown took 5 seconds off the clock, Trent. Now, that would not be the fastest pin ever in Tiger wrestling, but I think that might be the fastest score in Tiger football. I mean, you can't return a kick in 5 seconds.
Well, BK got loose on one to start. Yeah, that's true, because I don't even remember back in 2019, I don't think we had a score that quick. So that was definitely a great
I don't think
start.
so. You can't 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, let's move on a little bit, though. I did hear maybe some good news out of York. I heard maybe Coach Snodgrass will hang it up when this last kid goes through. That guy, getting that guy off the sideline would be good. He's a good coach.
Yeah, and they just couldn't. The York had snapping problems the whole night. It was disappointing that we couldn't take advantage of those. And then the Tiger D, they ended the first half with a huge stop. I think they had 1st and goal, and we stopped them. I remember I texted you and Rye up in the booth. I said, "Remember that stop?" I thought that was going to play a huge part, and then we just the offense
usually
just stuttered.
Yeah, usually a stop like that will win you a game.
Yeah, and then
usually that'll end up winning the game.
Then how many times do you win the turnover battle and lose? Because they turned it. I don't even think we turned it over.
I don't think so. Well, hopefully we play as well and then better on Friday, because the Vikings from Northwest are coming in. Should be a pretty good challenge. And to me, Trent, it looks like a pivotal game. I mean, you look at the rest of the Tiger schedule, and there's 4 games on there that are doozies, starting with Bennington. Northwest struggled with Scotts Bluff. What are you thinking about this week?
Usually you make your best jump between week 1 and week 2. That's just a football thing. They lost to Scotts Bluff, and Scotts Bluff had to board the bus and drive for a million hours and beat them 31-6. That's a heck of a trip home for that million-hour bus ride for the Bearcats. So, but 31-6, we'll see. It's just Northwest. It's Hastings. We've had fun the last 4 or 5 years with them, and they've got us more than we've gotten them. And just go lace it up and put the helmets on and roll the ball out there and see what happens. So,
well, I took a look at the game film a little bit. I tell you, Scotts Bluff was successful on the ground and in the air. You know, you usually expect in Scotts Bluff when they get somebody like that they really got that ground game going, and they did, but they also hit some big passes. So, you know, Northwest, I think, will be looking to improve between week 1 and week 2 because that defense looked pretty porous. And of course, we have the Vikings out at the Osborne Family Sports Complex. That's got to be good. Kind of important to get one of these 2 home games as a win, don't you think?
Yeah, I'm trying to remember when the last time we opened the year with 2 straight home games. That just seems very odd anymore. So,
well, the Tigers will get going this Friday. Now we got some other things going on. You got out to softball last night. How did things go out there against York?
I followed them Friday. They played in the Lincoln. They played in a Lincoln tournament, and they beat 3 Class A teams last Friday. Yeah, so they beat Kearney. We can always ask what a Bearcat is. They beat them 8-0. Elkhorn South 4-0, and then they had a huge come from behind victory versus Lincoln Southeast.
Lincoln Southeast
10-7. They were down 7-3 and rallied for 7 in the last inning, and then it was called due to time limits. So last night against York, they had Piper Whitty at 3 doubles. We have some clips of those, hopefully. And they just hit the ball. They just put pressure on York. Oshner, Brooke did a great job in the circle. They continue to depend on her. And this is Piper Whitty. This ended the game last night. And they just sort of hit it where York wasn't. York had a tough night fielding, and that ended up being the 13th run, and that was the walk-off. But they just put the ball in play a lot. These girls can hit for power. They have tons of speed, and they can and then they just put the ball in play and hit it hard.
So was it 12-run rule last night?
Yeah, 12 run and 3, so it's 13-0.
Well, York isn't quite what they used to be in softball, but those wins still feel pretty good. What's softball got coming up? Where are they headed schedule-wise?
Well, tomorrow night they have a big game with Elkhorn North, who's 7-3. It's funny that we're in Labor Day week, but their season's already wrapping up. It's funny to say that, but they're basically they're at the high point and they're on the way down to the end of the season. So Tigers just updated today. They moved up to 3rd in wild card points, and that's big for EMC seeding next week. I'm curious. It said that starts on a Thursday, so I wonder if they're going to play the first round at the host schools at the higher seed on Thursday. So I'm curious how that goes. And then the Saturday tournament showed it was in Blair. So I was curious how that goes.
Okay.
But yeah, they moved up to 3rd in wild card points. Blair's sitting 5th. Elkhorn North plays a lot of big schools and a lot of Class A, and they worked on some depth last night. They got Grace some time off at the end of that game. They moved the backup catcher in and moved Maddie over to 3rd.
That conference tournament. Yeah, that conference tournament trend. The Tigers had a good first year in the EMC, and it's tough. But I thought we were very competitive in all sports, but we're still looking for our first title. You know,
Yeah.
softball was runner up last year, but that's as close as we got. Maybe we pick up that first title in Blair on Saturday.
Yeah, we'll just see what happens. I think they have another. They have to go to Lincoln on this weekend after tomorrow, and they play a triangular with Standing Bear and Elkhorn. So Elkhorn's another, and then they play Lincoln Northwest, your favorite school, next Tuesday. So they have a busy week the next 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's a lot of conference games. You know, those games will all count for the conference regular season standings too. So hopefully the girls get on a good roll there. Volleyball last night didn't go great out at Adams Central. I think they're battling some injuries and things. As you know, they're still transitioning into the Eastern Midlands too. Their schedule's not going to get any easier. Who do they have coming up, Tren?
Volleyball is at Elkhorn North tomorrow, and then they're at the big Lexington Invite on Saturday. So,
all right. Well, hopefully the girls can get a little something going, get a little momentum going in the volleyball season. Now, cross country has only had their inter squad scrimmage. They had their usual small town meet where Blue Hill and Doniphan come in, and Kennesaw got canceled by that storm you predicted last week. But they head to Albion this week. I talked to Coach Johnson about that. He says they should be pretty competitive both on the boys and girls side up there. He keeps a good eye on his distance runners, you know. He says really Columbus will kind of be the main competition up there.
Yeah, I saw them in the South Gym. They were getting ready to head out when I was finishing my day this afternoon. So, and good luck to them.
And of course, yeah, we've got girls golfers going. What are they up to, Tren? I know they were over in Grand Island
girls
last
golf
week.
They're at Friday. They're at the Gish Invite, the Grand Island Senior High Invite, and then Tuesday they're going to get the Islanders at Laughlin. So have a little
always a big one.
Yeah, that's a big one when you bring them down here. So,
all right. Well, what do we got? What haven't we talked about? Oh, hey, I saw you getting ready to start recruiting Unified Bowlers. What's up with Unified Bowling?
We're still getting close. We're not any. We haven't even. She hasn't even had the meeting yet. So, but tennis.
I saw signs on your desk.
Oh yeah, I've been making posters like crazy. That's what I do when I have a free moment. I miss Guzwell wasn't in class. They hosted McCook and Adams Central yesterday at the tennis courts, and I did not get anything on that. So I feel bad for Guz.
I've got them. The Tigers are struggling with their depth. Lost to both of those teams, you know, and we're still trying to figure out where people go a little bit. Parker Ablett's definitely going to be playing number one singles, but they've been kind of messing around with number one doubles. Moses Rhodes has been in there. The couple other guys have kind of been rotating in there, and I'm not sure where we are yet. Went up to Ground Central Catholic, and probably Parker. Parker had the best day up there, but I think Coach Goose is still trying to figure out where to slot people in. And like we talked about last week, I think we've got a few guys with experience at the top, and we're trying to figure it out other places. Came close with McCook. They only lost to McCook 3-2, Trenner.
All right, that works. And they'll just be. He's a great coach, so I love being around the Goose. He's got an interesting fall because they flipped Infotech upside down. It's all brand new to all the teachers that teach that in the whole state. So he's learning just like I am in Infotech.
Really?
So it's been interesting. It's called Intro to Computers now, so has a big fancy title. But I'm looking forward to my coding and stuff, and not the typing part. So I don't plan on taking that typing.
Yeah, I'm excited.
So.
All right. Well, let's go back to football for a second. What are you going to be watching early in the game? What do you want to see out of the Tigers that maybe you didn't see last week?
Tiger's got to be able to run the ball. I looked at Coach Shu's comments in the Tribune. 35. He said, great quote: 35 yards in Class B rushing for 35 yards in Class B ain't going to cut it. So Tigers need to get something on the ground with Cooper, the Satterley kid, former little Husker shout out. He's my last line of kids that I've coached. I coached him as a 4th and 5th grader, and then retired his 6th grade year. But he gives them a little depth when Coop. Hey, I see the wildflower lady behind you. So,
Yeah, wild goose chase flowers hard at work here tonight.
Yeah, they just need to run the ball to get some balance. We know Northwest is going to come down with the ship, and they're going to be throwing the ball all over in their black and gold, and it'll be a fun night. So those games are always fun. I just hope I'm not very busy that night.
All right. Well, I think that wraps it up. Things are really going to get going in the fall. We're going to have activities coming. What now?
What about your game? I got a year.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Okay, what year are you nominating? Now we're talking school years, right? Are we talking a school year?
Yeah, I'm nominating.
Okay. Who are you nominating?
My first one. I think I'm going to save my winner because I think I have the winner.
Okay.
At least in my opinion. I'm going to start with 1997 and 98.
Okay. So what do you get out of 97, 98? You get boys basketball to the state semis.
We have a football playoff run. They get to the semis. We run into Lexington. Old coach, our fearless leader, Coach Linden. We have difficult conversations about Hastings High and Lex in the 90s. He's right in front of that group, and
that was
you got that.
That was a semifinal game at Lex, a real close one.
And they hosted. We hosted Chadron. We played a game in the snow that was delayed. There was a big snowstorm, so all that fun stuff. And then you got basketball, wrapping it up with Pat Trader and the boys, and Dudley,
Larson, Dudley, Mucklow, Tinsman.
Yep.
All right. Okay, so producer Tate put 97, 98 on the board. I'm going new school. I want to take 2021. I'm going to take 2021. Football semifinals.
No.
Wrestling state title.
No.
Track state title. 2021.
No.
I'm not talking 1920, 1921. 1920, 1921 was not a great year. We were still coming off the shutdown of the football program. Coach Thomas isn't there yet. I'm talking 2020, 2021, Tren.
That was my winner.
Track state champs, football state. No, you think so? That's my first time throwing out there. 2021.
Wait. Okay, never mind. I'm not done. I just remembered where mine fit in, so. I think we lost you. Oh, that's sad. Anyway. Okay, I'll give you 2021.
Okay, I think we're back. Trent, a little technical difficulties there. Okay, so we've added 2 teams. We're going to keep or 2 school years for the greatest Tiger school year ever. You went with 97, 98 from last century. I went from 2021 this century. We'll keep nominating some here over the next few weeks. If you've got some, just stop one of us in the halls. Get a hold of us. We're all over. We're all over the social media. You can find us. Let us know what you think the year is that belongs in there, and then we'll figure out some way we're going to decide it. How's that sound, Trenner?
Okay, are you ready for my big announcement? Are you ready?
All right. I can't hear you, Tren, but I want you to send the show out anyway. What are you going to say?
Okay. So you can't hear me. That's so sad because here's my big announcement. I am joining the legend Jack Ordergren tomorrow night on Tiger Vision with the Tiger softball game. And we had a fun little
I have
toy
no
on you,
idea
Greg.
what you said, but I'm sure it was brilliant. Go Tigers. We'll see you
And
next week.
Yep, we'll see you next week. Go Tigers. So tune in tomorrow night. Tune in tomorrow night on Tiger Vision.
Hold it. Producer Tate is telling me you're going to be on the broadcast of the softball game.
Yes,
Or are
with
you
the
calling who's
legend
winning?
Jack Ortega. No, we're calling the game tomorrow. I'm doing prep.
Tren, this show's falling apart. I can't hear you.
No, we have a
Did
trivia
you say
question.
go Tigers
Producer
yet?
Tate. No, put the trivia question on, Tate, since we got it.